Hey everybody, welcome back. So in this video we're going to do we're going to solve some equations that involve parentheses, and we'll have to use distribution or the distributive property to get in here and get things done. I've got two examples here we'll do example 2 and 3 from your notes, and the first one is a little simpler, so we'll start with that one. And I want to do a good job with explaining how this distributive property is going to work for us, okay? So when you see something like this, the only way to go anywhere with this is we got to get x out of these parentheses, right? Our job is to get x by itself, the coefficient of 1. And the only move we've got at our disposal here is to distribute this 9. Right? But I want to be really clear because we haven't had a lot of this in our lessons formally. 9 times x is what that means. He's got to go there. And when we distribute, we go to both places. 9 times negative 5. Right? So what that means we're going to have, I'm going to switch to black here. We're going to have 9, and we'll show my work, times x plus 9 times negative 5, if you want to call it plus. Right? You can. All right, then we'll simplify to get 9x minus 45 equals negative 9. It's fine to just say that's 9x minus 45 equals negative 9. And this plus part here I did, it's just so I could use parentheses and show how the multiplication procedure actually takes place, okay? All right, so now the job will be to isolate the x term before we do the final step, which will be division, because that's our multiplication there. So we're going to say, okay, plus 45, or add 45 to both sides. And I get 9x is equal to 36. And finally, we'll solve this by that division I talked about. We knew we were going to have to do it, and we get x is actually 4. Now, this is a good example for us to test and see if it works. So we'll come up here. We can substitute this back into x, remember the substitution property, and see if this is actually a true statement. If it's not true, then we made a mistake. We'll say 9 times 4 minus 5. We're substituting for x. Is this true? 9 times 4 minus 5 is negative 1. That's equal to negative 9. Yes, that happens to be true. So this is a checked good solution. Okay, that was example 2. And we're going to go ahead and do another one in this video because we got enough time to. So we'll get this example 3 here out of the way. And this one has got a little bit more going on. Let me get it written down here, and we'll talk about some possible mistakes people make when they work with things like this, or they're just not familiar with it. 2x. When you do enough of this, and not everybody does, I do understand that, but when you do, you get a feel for it where you don't have to think about your steps. Just like when you're reading, you have a way of flowing through the material. Well, you can become that way with math too, where you're just used to the rules. And to know your rules is how that works. You've got to be confident with your rules. If you're not confident, you won't have that flow. And I'm telling you, you need the flow. Okay, so some mistakes that people might make here, and they do this a lot. They might make a horrible mistake by thinking they can combine these somehow before you do anything. In other words, right this minute on this side of the equation, there's no way to combine anything. This negative 2 will not combine with this negative 2x. They're not like. 5 can't combine with this 4 because I got a multiplication here, and I've got to follow my order of operations. All right? Now, the first thing you always do with any equation, in my opinion, is simplify both sides of your equation as much as you can. You always want things as simple as possible, and this left-hand side is definitely not simplified. It needs a step of distributing to begin with. All right? So again, we're going to distribute. 5 goes to the negative 2, multiplication, always. 5 goes to the negative 2x, excuse me, and then negative 2 here. And the reason I say multiplication always because that's the relationship between 5 and this group of numbers. This says 5 times this group of numbers. And that's what we have to do when we multiply, when we eliminate these parentheses. All right, so we end up right here with 5 times negative 2x is negative 10x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. We're going to copy the rest of this down. Right? That's the stopping point. 5 can't go past that. This parentheses is this right side is a stop point. And now we're going to leave it like this. Make sure we don't make any mistakes. And now we're at a combining phase. And we'll draw some arrows here to make this really clear. All right, what's going to combine? And this is what I'm talking about, simplifying your equation before any steps, because you don't want to start jumping the fence. Add 4 over, add 10 over. Don't do that. Stop right here and simplify. Say, well, wait a minute. This will combine with this because they're like. Remember, same variable, same exponents. This is just a number. It'll combine with this. I say just a number. I don't want to insult 10 like he's not important. But I don't know. I might get in trouble with 10. So negative 10x minus 2x is negative 12. Uh-oh. Pen's going crazy. Negative 10x minus 2x is negative 12x. Negative 10, negative 4 gives me a negative 14. And we're still equal to 10. All right, so now it's time to isolate the term that involves x, right? That's what we're after. And then we know that the final blow here will be a division because that's multiplication. So we're going to say plus 14, and I'm kind of out of room here, so I'm going to draw my space. I would have below that space negative 12x equals 10 plus 14 is 24. All right, so we're at the final phase here of this process, and like we said back here, it's divide by negative 12, divide by negative 12, and we'll get x is negative 2. I'm going to circle that. That was quite a mess. But anyway, that's a little bit more involved. I hope this video is helpful. You got a couple of these to do. And the next video, I think we're going to start dealing with some fractions. So that'll be interesting. I may involve the calculator with that to give you some confidence. Okay, we'll see you there.